Let's hear from Matt in Tucson. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the postgame show.
What is up, gentlemen? I heard somebody coughing back there. Somebody got tuberculosis or something? You gotta get checked out there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to talk opt-outs. And first thing I want to say, I love Brett Brennan. I think he's the right guy for the program. At best, Arizona, not a championship football program. It's not going to be. I've watched it for 40 years. It's mediocre, 8 or 9 wins forever. But that is a bad look, having your opt-out guys on the sidelines for a game like this.
Well,
where
let
is the
me tell you,
accountability on the coaches and the teammates? Hang on, let me finish. Where's the accountability for the coaches and the teammates in this? And I do want to hear from Glenn, who played, in Kelvin. It's like those guys should not be on that sideline. You immediately send them home. The coaches or the players step up and immediately send them home. If not, we've lost college football for good, gentlemen.
Well, we may have. I won't disagrip there. But Matt, I think if you watch any of the bowl games this weekend,
they all were sitting on
they
the
were
side.
all on the sideline.
Listen to me. Listen. It is fine to opt out. They should not be on the sideline. If I'm an NIL booster and I have spent a lot of money in this Arizona program, I'm not spending another dime seeing those 3 guys shove it in my face, right? I mean, we're talking like Troy Aikman kind of stuff. And the amount of money that I've spent on this program, those 3 guys can't play their final game. Give me a break if I'm a booster. And for a coaching staff to allow those 3 guys to sit there, that is something that if I'm Desiree, I get back to my office, I call him in, and I say, you're the right guy for this program, but I'm going to dismiss you for crying out loud. If I ever see 3 guys opt out in a bowl game and sit there and smile on the sideline and think that's fun and acceptable. And for their teammates, that's why this is a mediocre program at best.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
I think that Alabama, those guys everybody had those guys out.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I said.
I mean, it's I understand what you're saying, Matt. I understand what you're saying.
Put those guys on the sideline.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that was a team decision. I think that the team wanted them to be on the sideline. So if the team,
that's pathetic. And that is a pathetic. A coach needs to stand in and say that is not an acceptable decision. Those 3 guys should not have been on the sideline. You need to send a message. Again, I'm a big NIL booster that spent 6 figures in this program. I am not spending another dime on this program after seeing those 3 guys. You understand me? And by the way, I'm going to say that.
That's your right.
Yeah,
that's your right.
Yeah, and I believe that there's a couple of those. What you're just talking about, like yourself, talked to me today at the game. What was my opinion on them not playing? And they were like, I just don't get that because I'm putting all this money in this, and then all of a sudden they don't want to play. They had some concerns. You're not the only one that was feeling that way. So
I get it.
No, let me say this.
Yeah, let Kelvin talk there.
Well, yeah, I was going to say this, guys. First off, we weren't in the bowl game last year, so bowl games are not guaranteed. And if you do get a bowl game, that means that you had a great season. And, of course, you would want everybody to play. But the problem is the insurance for the guys. Yeah. I think that we need to get into setting up insurance for the guys.
I agree with you. That's what I suggest.
Right. If they play in these games and you get injured, say you get your rookie contract or whatever it is. If you're a free agent or your projection was a 3rd rounder or whatever it is, then these guys won't miss those games because it'll be clear that they're going to make their money regardless. You work hard to put yourself in a situation to where you can have that decision to make. I made the decision to play. I hurt my ankle and cost myself a 3rd round grade, which would at least been a 6th round or 7th round. Now, that was me. I would have played. I probably still would have played. That's the guy who I was. But at the same time, these guys have to be smart because they're going to affect their future.
Yeah, and Kelvin, I agree with you. I said to that the university should purchase six couple $1 million policies. Have them, ready for any of those guys that are there that want to be able to play, and they sign that for those insurance policies. I think that's the responsibility of the university to do that, and then they can play in the game. And if something does happen to them, then they can cash out on it. And that's what they're covering.
I agree with you guys 100%. That's not the point. Is the minute you opt out, you're sent home. You're sent home. That's it. You cannot be there. You cannot have the boosters. And I was at the game tonight. Everybody was talking about that. They're taking pictures, and they're going, what are we doing? Why are we giving any money to the University of Arizona Athletic Department when it just gets shoved in our faces like that? That's ridiculous. You just say, hey, guys, you have a great career on the plane. You're going home.
Well, one of the things is, I hear you on that, and that would have been the decision of the coaches. I do disagree because to me it's the same as a guy getting injured. If a guy's injured, he's still on the sideline. So with that being said, where I'm coming from is this. As a coach, you go and get these guys from their homes, you bring them here, you coach them up and everything, and they are a part of a team. They're part of a program. They help get the team to this point. Now, of course, you don't want them joking around or playing around, but a lot of what they were doing, especially with Stoops, I seen him helping the guys out the same as he did when he was injured, right? So, yeah, I think it actually is good on the coach having those guys there because it shows some of those parents or some of those kids that may want to come here that regardless if they choose to opt out or if they help the team win 12 games, they're still going to be accepted.
I understand that, and your passion is great, and it's just as a booster, man, I don't want to see that. Like, I'm just like you guys. I run a Fortune 500 company, and it's like if I had somebody do that at work, that's it. You're over. It's done. And college football is over and done if we keep doing that like that. I mean, it's Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah.
Somebody get checked out for tuberculosis. I love you guys, and here's to next year's 7-4 season and 30 guys opting out in the bowl game as we lose to Tulane. All right?
Matt, we appreciate your passion. We love the fact that you're a passionate Wildcat fan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for and I don't necessarily disagree with what Matt said there. I'm just saying that that's what's happening. Like he said, if that's what's happening in college football, then we're losing the sport. I agree with that, but that's happening on every sideline in every one of these bowl games. Those players that opted out, the only guys that really aren't here are the guys that are in the transfer portal. Those are the guys that are not that you're not seeing on the sideline, but you are seeing the opt-outs in a lot of these games, and I understand that there's a lot of fans that don't like that.
DK and Glenn, also, one of the things that we do, we glorify the guys that make it to the NFL. The guys that make it to the NFL, those are the guys that we give the most love to as far as former Wildcats, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
And so, these guys are at that point where they got a chance to make that happen. So when they become a former player and look back 10 or 15 years, they get to be a celebrity at the game. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that, man. So I just feel like, man, I think it should be a little bit more understanding, where the guys will come from. Get that insurance policy, and then let's see if these guys will play.